live video. Well, organs and emotions. I'm making a longer video. I'm not making a reel because I cannot explain properly, so it will take time because there are 5 areas to discuss and everything will take 2 to 3 minutes. So 15 to 20 minutes I need here. Okay, what happens in life is we suffer. We suffer because of various situations. Those situations cause organs in our body to dysfunction. Now those organs start suffering and people start worrying about their organs, right? That is the end result. Now if I go back into my life as a civil engineer, I suffered with ulcerative colitis for 13 years because I had lot of stress. So the stress is emotion. So I hated my boss. Who doesn't hate a boss? Well, my boss was one of the worst bosses that you can imagine. He was not a civil engineer, but our company had kept a donkey on top of engineers. Okay, so he was from the Indian Army, so he thought that despite, and he had retired and he had joined our company in Baghdad. So he was a donkey who was trying to get work from horses. Okay, so his name was Mr. K.V. Rao. So now what happened was he would always not understand the situation. So he thought that like in the army, if he says something, it has to be done. Okay, so when we work on site, you can't expect engineers to work like you were working in the army, like I'm a boss, I've got a bigger rank than you, so you have to trust, you have to do what I tell you, okay, even if I'm wrong. So that was what he was doing with us. So he was not bothered about humanity or anything, he was only bothered about output. So for output you need labor, you need material, you need many things as a civil engineer. But he was not a civil engineer. So the company had just hired him, I don't know why. But he was like a terror. So I would not get along with him because I didn't bother about him. So in the meetings I would tell him on the face, it can't be done. Why? He says, you have to do it. I said, it can't be done. He says, I'll pack you. I said, pack me. So ultimately the project was finishing. So I didn't bother. But I was always under terror because of that. I can't even call him a human. Okay, I don't even know my words that I will call that gentleman. Not even gentleman. He was not even he was an animal. Okay, so that is the worst that I can give credit to that man. So what happens? So that was, and when I came back to India, I suffered for 13 years with my ulcerative colitis. So he made me suffer. Okay, but now I hope he is getting his karma, which is due to him. What happens? Well, anger damages your liver. Okay, so liver is the energy of wind. So anger is affected. When you are affected by anger due to various external causes, anger may be short-lived or anger may be long-lived, right? So I still carry that anger against that animal from the Indian Army, okay, who was my so-called boss in a civil engineering company. So that is, bound to happen. So you have anger. But now I remembered him after so many years because today I am making this video. So anger will affect your liver. Liver will get damaged. So if you want to help your liver get well, or you are suffering with liver issues, start understanding your anger issues, trying to resolve them. Grief, emotion, lungs and large intestine. So grief, okay. So anger is liver and gallbladder. Grief is lungs and large intestine. So when you are in grief, your skin gets affected. Your skin gets affected. You can understand emotions. Grief works on the lungs and large intestine. Worry, stomach. So when we are worried now, when we worry, something happens in our stomach. So stomach and pancreas and spleen together. So your worry will harm your stomach and your pancreas and your spleen. So diabetic patients, when they worry, they are ultimately harming themselves. When you are worried, you get ulcers in your stomach. So those zones. Fear, kidneys and urinary bladder. Now example. Now you got fear. So many people urinate in their clothes. So डर लग गया ना तो पेशाब आ गया. बच्चे डरते हैं. रात को बच्चे डर गए सोते हुए. When children go to sleep at night, they have fear. So they bedwet. Because of fear. Bedwetting is very common. Children have fear. Fear of darkness. Many fears. You have to analyze. Fear of heights, kidney. So when you have a lot of fear, when you have fear for somebody, you have fear for somebody's well-being, you have fear for somebody's safety, well-being, you are concerned about the well-being of others. Ultimately, your kidneys are going to be affected and your urinary bladder. So you must notice when it gets very cold, you fear for yourself. Am I safe? Can I keep warm? You will have to go to the washroom more often in that season of coldness because there's already that energy which is dominant in your body, fear. Okay? So if you are suffering from kidney disease, please revisit your family and situation and analyze, do you suffer or is your issue being aggravated because of the fear within your family or fear for somebody in your family. Okay? So fear will not allow your kidneys to recover. So if you want to recover your kidneys or you want to recover your bladder, maybe there's an issue with your bladder, cancer or retention. There may be so many issues in your kidney or bladder. They are paid organs, right? So now, if you are going to continuously worry, have fear, your kidneys are going to suffer. So you need to understand that is my fear really worth it? Should I really fear for somebody else who is not fearing for me? If I'm going to be over concerned and fearful for somebody who is not available in front of me or maybe thousands of miles away, yes, it is right to be, concerned. But in that concern, you should not start fearing so much that your kidneys start getting damaged. Or your kidneys are already damaged and you start worrying more with that fear for the well-being of somebody else who is answerable for their own actions. So if you analyze all these situations, you are going to be the loser. So if you want to be healthy, you are going to have to take action. Stress, heart and brain. Yes. So many people today in today's world are suffering from stress. Okay. Young people are dying of heart attacks. Of course, there are different reasons. After the so-called situation of the lockdown, we've lost many people. Reasons are known, but I am not mentioning it here. But people today, in today's life and in today's world, are under huge stress. Stress for money, stress for relationships, stress for success, stress for everything they stress. Going to work is a stress, coming home is a stress, traveling is a stress, meeting is a stress, targets are a stress, wife is a stress, girlfriend is a stress, boyfriend is a stress, parents are stress, staff is a stress, everything is a stress. Okay. Now what happens? The heart and the brain get affected. Your blood pressure shoots up. You suffer a stroke. You suffer a deviated mouth. You suffer a heart attack. And ultimately what happens? Your family suffers, right, in the long run, because they will not have the means to continue with your treatment over a long period of time unless you got insurance, or they will need to liquidate money or some assets that they hold or some deposits that they hold to get you some sort of treatment that can help you recover. Now, you need to understand, we need to understand, I need to understand, does anger solve my problem? Does grief solve my problem? Does worry solve my problem? Does fear solve my problem? Does stress solve my problem? In fact, each of these things contribute to sickness in our body. I suffered with hurry, worry and curry because of my boss. I came back to India, and after 1 year, my ulceration started. Ulcerative colitis, blood, mucus, loose stools, 20-30 times a day. I was hospitalized 6 to 7 times in 13 years in Bombay, in the best hospitals, under the best doctors. But they could only give me medication and steroids and enemas and all that. But they couldn't solve my ulcerative colitis. It's only when I realized in 99 that I need to take charge of my life, I started acting on my temperament. I started losing out on business. I would have issues. But then I realized that why am I suffering? I'm suffering because of my own actions. So I started changing. Now I have mellowed down a lot. Maybe out of 100, I'm still 15-20% of what I was then, but I am now living a very happy and peaceful and contented life. I may not have a lot of money, but I have good friends, family, my colleague, my clients. I keep busy and I keep enjoying my life, and I keep making such videos because I realize that unless we don't share, people will not understand. Some people tell me that you waste too much time making videos. I say it's okay. Even if one person watches my video and they are able to understand, I'm sure they will be thankful. So this is an effort to make you understand between the relationship of emotions and organs. So I'm repeating it again. Anger weakens your liver and gallbladder. Grief weakens your lungs and large intestine. Worry, hurry, worry, curry, weakens your stomach and spleen, pancreas, diabetic. Fear weakens your kidneys and urinary bladder. Stress, your heart and brain. Now, is it worth it? I mean, here it is. Are any of these issues worth damaging our organs? No. Well, they say that we only realize when we suffer. I hope my message that I shared with you in these 14-15 minutes will give you some, open some thought process that you need to take charge of your life and you need to be answerable to yourself and your family, and hopefully improve and stop all these actions, because they are ultimately going to harm you in the long run. It's not always short. Like if you get angry, I'm telling you an example. Not only is your anger harmful to you over a long period of time. Now if I'm angry with somebody on the road, I'm just giving you an example, and in my anger I slap him. Okay, maybe he's done something wrong on the road, or he's injured my car or my vehicle or whatever, or he's hit me while I'm crossing, whatever. There can be hundreds of reasons. and I respond to that situation in an angry manner. That is yang anger. I get angry and I explode and I slap him. Now imagine if he has a gun or he has a knife or he has a stick and he uses that stick or that knife or that gun on me. Who suffers? I suffer at that moment. My liver doesn't suffer, but I suffer body injury, right? He may push me down, he may be stronger than me. So he pushes me down and maybe I get run over. Okay? So maybe I get run over. So is it worth it? No. So it's the same with grief. Your lungs will get affected. Worry, stomach. Fear, kidneys and gallbladder. Sorry, kidney and urinary bladder. Stress, heart and stroke, paralysis, heart attack, blockages, insufficient flow of blood to the brain, insufficient flow of blood, because when you get angry, there is constriction. Okay? Fear, constriction. What happens? We suffer in the long run. So please be careful. So this was my intention of making this video about the relationship of organs and emotions. Thank you. You are welcome to get in touch with us for treatment by acupuncture and acupressure, sujok and color therapy. We've written a book. Amarjit Singh Narula and Shilpa Kedekar. We've written a book on color therapy, wellness with acupressure and colors. We are health and wellness consultants. We are based in Bombay. And my number is 9869036813 766-973-1155. We are based in Bombay and you are welcome to seek our services. And we will definitely help you get well gradually using a combination of alternative therapies, just like I used to resolve my ulcerative colitis after 13 years of suffering. 100 newspaper articles across the globe, 12 years on Asta channel with Shilpa Kedekar ji. And yes, we've helped people get well for very complex disorders using a combination of alternative therapies. I'm also a watch therapy consultant, radical healer, Shilpa ji, aromatherapy, flower remedies, licensed acupuncture professionals of Government of Maharashtra by law. That is the first and best achievement of any state in the country of India, where acupuncture has been legally authorized by Act of Parliament. So it is an achievement, and we are the first batch to be authorized by the Government of Maharashtra after due diligence, exam and documentation and everything. So welcome, stay well and think over what I explained, share it, like it, and welcome to connect. God bless you always.